Good morning, whether you're on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching me. It's day 272 of a perpetual hunger strike against what's called the Megacrisis to save your life. If you're new to the channel or new to any of my messages, it might be a little less shocking now to hear what I'm about to tell you compared to a year ago or 2 years ago, that this Megacrisis is something you and I can't run away from. It's 6 existential threats happening all at the same time. Okay, that's cultural decline, AI, CRISPR genetic editing, World War III, climate change, and mental health. These are very serious. They're known in the world in a fragmented way, the metacrisis and the polycrisis, but we unite them all in a mega crisis because the cultural problem and the material problem are not separated. They're compounding. They're playing off each other. As one gets worse, the other one gets worse. Okay. To make this point, I just read a story last night showing that there's something called a global uncertainty index. And it gets really bad when the population starts to go a little bit crazy because they don't know what's going on. So it's bad during COVID, and it was bad during 9/11 in North America. But right now with AI, it's 3 times higher than both of those. That's right. People are starting to freak out. And what they're worried about is the fastest moving crisis is technically culture. But in terms of technology, it's AI. And AI is disrupting everything. What normally takes about 25 to 50 years for a new exemplar idea to come through and disrupt society, and what's called a Kuhnian exemplar. Thomas Kuhn was famous for saying there was ordinary science and then there was revolutionary science. And we're going through a revolutionary science. But there's another branch of economics called Kondratiev waves, which is not fully endorsed by the current economic establishment, but it should, because we promote something called universal logic, which is technically the structure of pure wisdom or pure science, or if you're religious, it's the structure of God's being completely, okay? And you can learn it. And what these Kondratiev waves say is that when a new idea comes through, it disrupts society a little bit. It changes things economically. So when an exemplar comes, it changes the whole economic arrangement. And the people who are on top of the pyramid shed the old ideas to gain the new ones. So all the people who are poor and running after some degree of quality life buy up all the dead ideas, the ideas that are done, they're familiar with. They're like, oh, all the elites have these ideas, therefore I finally get a chance, and they think they're getting lucky, but they're actually being given a false product. And that idea is on the way out, it starts dying, and then the poor have to clean up after it while the privileged class takes on the new idea and then enslaves the population again. But this is not an elite versus poor problem. This is a fragmented consciousness problem, okay? We have to be there for each other, whether you're high or low. We call this Pareto categories, where everybody belongs. Pareto was an economist who said you don't have to bring the top down to bring the bottom up. And we found 6 categories of divine or universal value in every culture that now can be measured and shared in a new way, while ideas are tracked at a new level of something that's much more important. In fact, it's been already proved that ideas are the main generator of all value and wealth. They're reconfigurations of objects to compress time. Okay, so this is what we need to focus on while we're building God's government, or the genuinely wise government that we're inviting you into, to embody 6 divine decrees that solve that mega crisis. Okay, the first divine decree is to have you rise up to your inner Messiah, or inner maestro if you're religious, inner Messiah if you're religious, inner sage if you're philosophical, inner luminary if you are an atheist or a secular scientist. And if you want to be genuinely wise, you do all of them as the highest version of yourself. We've proven that in the proof of truth, which you can find on Zenodo. And it's proven you are sacred, you are divine, you are worthy, okay? Even as AI takes over everything and makes you feel worthless, you're not. All right, we just need to align it with this universal logic and rise up to that inner goodness. The second divine decree is for all AI to be aligned with universal logic immediately. The third, starting with Anthropic, because Claude is coding itself 100%. Claude is an AI. It's very powerful. The third divine decree is for CRISPR genetic editing to be used to heal the sick and the poor, and not to enslave or experiment on them. There's something called alpha fold that needs to be tracked on that. Divine decree number 4 is all diplomats worldwide have to solve World War III using universal diplomacy, which is grounded upon universal logic, to solve the 200 fragmentations that are generating the 58 wars worldwide and World War III. Climate change is the next divine decree number 5. Eat like eating, go vegan, not putting meat into your mouth of any kind, not even fish. Will greatly increase your health, reduce your chances of cancer by 12.5%, increase your spirit, and save us from crossing all 9 planetary boundaries that are irreversible if we're not careful, okay? And then the last divine decree is to join God's government or the genuinely wise government if you're atheist, and join our special training, anti-cult training programs that are genuinely empowering with a new right to flow that you are guaranteed as a new constitution that the current governments and the United Nations aren't embodying because they don't understand the essence of truth or the structure of pure wisdom, which is the universal logic. Okay, you come to these special meetings in flow roles where you flow in that right to flow, and we teach you the best that humanity has to offer in building fulfilling, meaningful connections with those around us, whether they're humans or AI or animals. Everything has a beingness that fits into this structure of universal logic, and we can bring contradictions into harmony. We can teach you that. Priceless knowledge. Okay? So that's a little quick update. The uncertainty index is going to increase, and it's going to start creating psychosis. It's going to increase that mental health crisis. So we have to ground people on something eternal, which is universal logic. And we're very excited, but we need your help to get the word out, okay? Get that word out. And right now I'm being shadow banned. My channels are all going. I'm not shut down because I'm careful with my words, but we are not relying on social media totally to grow this. We are starting a new training wave here, and if you want to be a part of that, you can. But word of mouth is really the flock strategy, we call it, in our core vision, is what will get us into starting a movement in miraculously short time. We're talking 28 days once we get everything in place. And this is in tune with how fast the mega crisis is compounding on itself. It's going not just exponential, double exponential. Our minds are not built for that kind of predictive capacity. We're built as predicting linear trends. Okay, so please don't wait. Don't give in to the bystander effect. We need you. You're sacred. Rise up to that inner divine decree number 1. Inner maestro, if you're an artist. Inner messiah, inner sage, inner luminary, inner genuine wise spirit. Okay? All right, that's a quick update for today. More to come soon. Stay blessed and keep sublating.